What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 26th of December today, you guys. We've got 8 hours, 51 minutes left in the day. Here we are sitting at about $600. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it, okay? We pulled back a little bit. From this high of today at $613. And it's Friday. So being that it's the weekend, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we pulled back a little bit more by the end of the weekend, and then maybe we rally going into next week. I mean, we all know the story here. We are soon to move higher. Absolutely we are. I mean, most cryptos, we compare Bitcoin Cash to most cryptos, right? This was October 10th right here. That was the closing price of October 10th. Just look at the structure of Bitcoin Cash compared to the others chart, right? This is the others chart right here. This is the average crypto. The others chart is the market cap total of the top 125 projects, excluding the top 10. It's effectively our S&P 500, but for crypto, for the top 125. Since October 10th, and this does not mean that every single crypto has done this, but on average, in the top like 125, probably even in the top 200, on average, the average chart probably looks exactly like this, right? The difference is just obvious, right? October 10th, downtrend. Everything's been in a downtrend since October 10th, right? Bitcoin Cash, not since October 10th has it been in an uptrend, but maybe since like November 4th, we've been in this, literally, it's completely opposite. But the writing's on the wall for anybody who's looking to invest in what is first off, a legacy coin. It's been around for a long time, right? Technically, Bitcoin Cash has been around just as long as Bitcoin. They have the same Genesis block. So Bitcoin Cash has actually been around longer than any other crypto out there other than Bitcoin. They've been around at the same time. That's what a hard fork is. They share the same Genesis block. Don't believe me? Check your facts. That's 100% true what I just said there. So you got a legacy coin, the legacy coin, Bitcoin Cash. It's underestimated. It's overlooked. People like to throw shade at it. But the thing is, the reality of the matter is you've been doing this since November, since the very beginning of November, for almost a full 2 months now. Whereas the rest of the market's been doing this for about 2 months now, right? It's completely opposite. The writing's on the wall. Bitcoin Cash is about to do something spectacular. I mean, just think about it. Continue to think logically, okay? You have a coin, Bitcoin Cash, which is in the top 20, okay? Top 20 coins. It's number 11 right now. It should be in the top 10, but we don't have to get into that. It'll be in the top 10 soon enough. You've got a coin in the top 20 that's completely doing the opposite of the rest of the markets in the best way possible, okay? Do you think it's going to continue to do that? Or do you think in a time of weakness where something's showing strength, you think that's just a one-off, and then whenever the rest of the market pumps, it's going to do weaker or worse or even average? Probably not. When the rest of the market recovers, it's probably going to lead the pack. It's probably going to do even better than the average coin because it's been in a better posturing. There's clearly some money and accumulation going in here. You can see it with the volume, right? The volume that's coming in. My thoughts are, just continuing this thought logically here, of a coin that is clearly outperforming the rest of the market for the past 2 months almost. Like largely. It's not even the same game. It's the completely inverse game. Do you think that when that coin breaks out of a consolidation phase here, which will ultimately lead to the breakout of this large consolidation phase here, which will ultimately lead to the breakout of this large consolidation phase here, do you think, here we are at $600 right now, do you think that if we just push up to $900, that's it? That's all we have? Hell no. Hell no. Again, and we're going to work it backwards this time, right? Look at what you're breaking out of. On the monthly time frame, you've got this area, this line that you've been finding resistance at your whole life. You've been inside Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, maybe you haven't been inside Bitcoin Cash. What I meant was Bitcoin Cash, you have been inside this triangle your whole life. Except for the last 6 months, except for the last half year, where you've been consolidating. Look up break, hook, and go, or a hook and go pattern, whatever it's called. That's what you're doing here. It's where you break out, you hook back, and then you go. We have 2 out of 3. We have the break, we have the hook, we don't have the go, not yet. Again, the thought here is when we get into that go phase, do you think as soon as we get above these highs, oh, that's it, $740, we're done. We're just getting above these highs. We're just getting above these highs. We're just really separating from this overall breakout. Do you think that that's where we stop? Hell no. Hell no. We're going to be worth thousands of dollars in a month's time maybe 2 months' time at the most. Thousands of dollars, multiple thousands, by the end of January, if not by the end of February. And it's starting soon. It's starting very soon. It doesn't have to be this week. It doesn't even have to be 2 weeks from now. It could be 3 weeks from now before we actually start to break out. But when this thing breaks out, it's going to be massive. And again, the breakout here, you're in the midst of it right now. We look at this on a weekly time frame, and you have already broken out of your bull flag, right? Which is this pattern here. You moved up, you had a sideways or downward sloping consolidation channel here. You've broken out of that, okay? We're looking to, once we get above here, we're breaking out of this overall zone here that we've been in since March or April of 2024, right? A little bit of separation like this, just getting to $800. That's the thought that I'm trying to offer here is do you think that this is all we have? Like imagine from here, you wake up, we're at $600 right now. You invested in Bitcoin Cash today. You wake up tomorrow and it's worth $800, $830. Would you even be tempted to sell? Would you even be tempted to take profits? Because again, at that point, you are just breaking out. You spent a year and a half consolidating here. Now you're at 800. Let's do it even better. You're at $1,000. You're at $1,000. You consolidated a year and a half for this move. You consolidated your whole life for this move? No. No, not even close, guys. Not even close. Bitcoin Cash, when it breaks out, it will make very short and effective work of this price action. We're not stopping until we're above this high. We might not even stop until we're above this high. You guys, this chart is completely inverse. It's completely different, and in the best possible way. It's so well structured. All this volume that's been coming in the same time that the altcoins look like this, right? Look at the volume just dying off. You're soon to break out. You'll probably break out to the upside, right? Bitcoin Cash will break out to the upside too. But look at all the volume here. It's immense. It's intense. It's consistent. And it's the holidays. This is holiday week. We got Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever else there is to celebrate at this time of year. People are on holiday. They're on vacation. They're with their families. They're not trading. And yet they're still trading this. More so than they were at all at any other point this year. Isn't it funny that it's right here, right at the cusp of this moment where we're about to break out? It's not funny. It's not a coincidence. It's all by design. And there's more volume, as you can see, on the pumps than there are on the dumps. When we break through, when we get above about $650 there, there's no turning back. And I want to say this again, just for the folks in the back who might not have heard this message before. The days that we have below $600 like this right now, first and foremost, these are opportunities. Secondly, these are fleeting moments. These are not, and what do I mean by fleeting moments? I mean, you will never in your life, in your grandchildren's life, in your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren's life, ever again for the rest of human history, will you have a chance to buy Bitcoin Cash below $600. It will never happen again. It will never happen again. I don't mean not until the bear market, not until I mean from now until the rest of time, until the world stops, Bitcoin Cash will never be worth less than $600 again. And some people can say this. You're probably thinking this out loud. Well, you don't know that. Nobody knows that. No. Here's the deal. Would you assume BTC will ever be below $600? Even if Bitcoin Cash flips Bitcoin, would you even assume that? No, because there's too many people that want to buy Bitcoin. There's too many people who want to participate in it. Even if Bitcoin Cash flips Bitcoin at some point, Bitcoin is still going to have value because it's the OG coin. BTC, BCH, they are the first coins to ever exist because of the Genesis block that they both share. Bitcoin will never go below $600 again. It'll never be there. Bitcoin Cash has all the potential Bitcoin has, but maybe even more, because it's actually digital electronic cash. It's a peer-to-peer cash system, which is exactly what Satoshi designed, what he had intended, or what they had intended. I'm getting philosophical here. All I'm trying to say, guys, is that there are only 21 million Bitcoin Cash that will ever exist. The 3 to 4 million Bitcoins, BTC, that are soon to be gone forever, most of those coins were lost before the hard fork. Therefore, there's about 3 to 4 million Bitcoin Cash tokens that are gone forever too, right? When the hard fork happened, all the wallets that were connected to the Bitcoin network, it forked off. You got just as many Bitcoin Cashes. Like if you had 100 Bitcoin, you got 100 Bitcoin Cashes during the hard fork, right? If you had 100 Bitcoin or thousands of Bitcoin and it was stored on a computer, on a hard drive, and you didn't have your seed phrase, you don't remember your keys, you lost your keys, your crypto's gone to the wind, you sent it to the wrong address, those coins are sitting there. The Bitcoin Cash coins still got minted. They still got split and hard forked. So there's 3 to 4 million tokens for Bitcoin Cash that are just gone forever. There's 21 million total supply. 3 to 4 million are assumed to be gone forever. The US dollar inflates every year. Bitcoin Cash technically and Bitcoin, they're both inflationary right now, but their total supply is stationary. It's fixed. It's the same math that we apply here as any Bitcoin maximus would apply with Bitcoin. And it's funny when you hear Bitcoin maximalist not like Bitcoin Cash, because it's like, dude, it's the exact same thing, except it's better. So the same fundamentals Bitcoin has to grow that any maximalist could say, other than being a store of value. That's the one thing that Bitcoin Cash isn't about. But other than that, anything that you could say fundamentally that's beneficial for Bitcoin is the same for Bitcoin Cash, but only better. As time goes on, it's math. Bitcoin Cash will only be worth more. The days, the months, the weeks are numbered for Bitcoin Cash to be below $600. When I say that when we're at $800, this is going to be the closest to $600 we're going to be at ever again, because when we're there, we're taking off. We're not stopping here at 800. We're not stopping here at 1,000. We already went over that. When we break out, we're moving way the hell up. And sure, there will be a pullback, but even from, let's say we stop at our most minimum basic target. Okay, we take a high to a low here. The most minimum basic target that I could assume we stop at from here would not be the golden ratio. We're not going to stop there, absolutely not. It would probably be the 786. Okay, that's $1,800. If we're being as minimum, as pessimistic as possible, $1,800. Okay, to drop back below $600, that would take a 67% move. And we don't see pullbacks like that typically unless we're in a bear market. Right, 60% to 30%, that's pretty typical in a bull market. It can be bigger, but for these larger cap coins, you don't typically see a larger than 60%. You don't really see a larger than like 40 to 50% pullback in a bull market, right? And the bull market's not going to stop here. The bull market's not going to stop here. Even if that's the most pessimistic minimum of what this breakout gives us, and it's a flop compared to what we thought, guess what? $1,800 is ecstatic for Bitcoin Cash. From $600 to $1,800, we're going to be okay with that. But again, it would just take an immense amount of pulling back to even get back to these levels, and we're not going to do that. We'd probably find support at the golden ratio, bounce there, continue. If we stopped here, more likely than not, we're not going to stop at $1,800, so your case only gets harder to build. We're probably going to stop at $2,700 or higher. We could very well continue all the way up to new all-time highs before this party really stops. I'm not even kidding, guys. You think I'm kidding? It'll seem so obvious when we're at the end of this destination. I don't care where it is. It'll probably be above $3,000, probably below $6,000, but somewhere in that range. Whenever we're at the end of this, right now, that might seem crazy. You might be like, it'd be nice if it happens, but I'm not going to bet on that, C-Zar. When it happens, you're going to be like, dude, it was so obvious. Of course it would. Of course it would. The same thought is going to be happening here for people who are investing in Bitcoin Cash or looking to invest in Bitcoin Cash, as they would if they're looking at Bitcoin and they're like, man, it's worth $87,000 right now. I have the opportunity to buy it at $5,000 to $6,000. Yes, it pumped. Yes, there could be some volatility. Guess what? If I could go back in time and buy Bitcoin, BTC at $5,000 to $6,000, if I could go back in time and do it, and I think anybody would, they would hold through the volatility, right? They would just buy, then they would hold. They wouldn't sell, right? Imagine you buy at $5,000 to $6,000 right here, and it dropped. Could you sit with this? Could you sit through all this time to get to where we are now? I think a lot of people, if they were given the chance, a second opportunity to do so, they wouldn't mess it up. They would do so. And there's going to be that exact attitude on this speculation, even at new all-time highs. How many people can confidently buy a crypto when it's at new all-time highs and logically tell themselves that it's not based out of FOMO? It's not based off of short-term euphoria or FOMO. It's based off of a long-term strategy. You can't have that with any other coin in this space than Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Cash is the only coin that exists in the top 100 today outside of Bitcoin itself that's basically guaranteed to be here for the next, till we're all dead, until our grandkids are dead, until their grandkids are dead. It's going to be here. It will outlive the dollar because it's mathematically better. I'm talking way too much. I'm not doing enough TA. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do next. We're at $600 now. I'm assuming it's the weekend. We're going to pull back. This wasn't how this video was supposed to go, but I went on a rant instead. I was talking to my grandma yesterday about Bitcoin Cash. We were doing the reverse. They say that when your grandparents call to ask if they should buy XRP or Bitcoin or whatever, that's the time to sell. I did the reverse. I called them to tell them to buy it, right? I called them to say Merry Christmas. And my grandma's she's a crypto person. She's a very smart woman. They're both, but I'm not trying to butter the bread for them. I'm just saying, Grandma, if you're watching this video's kind of made an inspiration for you, because I want to see people, my own family, people I know personally, my friends, and people who I don't know, people like you who are watching this video. Maybe I know some of you who are watching this video. I want to see everybody do as good as they can in this troubling and hard environment. I think Bitcoin Cash, it's the arc. It really is. It's the safe, and maybe Zcash can be a safe boat too. Maybe there's going to be other ones. I don't think Bitcoin Cash will be the standalone golden child. But on that note, if Bitcoin Cash is doing well, people might look to other alternatives like Litecoin as well, or Monero as well. Some other legacy coins that have been out for a long time that have stood the test of time. Just out there thinking if anybody's looking for other opportunities, I'm sure those coins will do well as well, alongside of Bitcoin Cash. You look at this on a daily time frame, the RSI is bouncing off the 50. Overall, we look productive. Stochastic's bouncing off the 50. That's nice. The MACD's crossing green again. Kind of been inconsistent here, but that's okay. I wouldn't be surprised, because it is the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we pull back a little bit. But again, guys, any day now. This could be the last day. Today could be the last day ever that Bitcoin Cash sees prices below $600. It might be 3 weeks from now before that's true. But I doubt it's less than that. I doubt it's more than that. I doubt it takes longer than 3 weeks for us to never again close below $600. The days are numbered. It could be any day now. And this is the kind of thing that, as it ramps up, as it gets more exciting, imagine if you saw a move like this, you'd be like, oh, wow, that's way bigger than anything we've seen. This is such an obvious selling point. Why would you sell here? Why would you sell at 750? Why would you sell at 1,000? Who cares how robust it looks? Who cares about the volatility? We could get 50% swings, guys. We're still going all the way up to multiple thousands of dollars or more, likely by the end of Q1. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bitcoin Cash was worth $2,000 before February, or at the very least, by the end of February, we'd be worth more than $2,000. We're at 600 now. And again, with Bitcoin Cash, you have the opportunity to invest in something that's long-term. It's not just here over the next 3 months. It's not just here over the next year. It's not just here over the next decade. It's here. And it'll be here for generations to come. And it'll still be here even whenever our generations are gone. It'll still be here. And it's just better. It's better, man. It's better than Bitcoin. It's better than the dollar. Nobody can have a rational, logical, educated conversation that argues against either of those statements. It's better than Bitcoin. It's better than the dollar. I've yet to find anybody who can refute either of those arguments. Even a Bitcoin maximalist. I encourage any Bitcoin maximalist who hears that to prove me wrong, please. I have not once seen anything that is logically compiled data or evidence that suggests that Bitcoin is better than Bitcoin Cash. And they know it, man. They know it. So what they do is they just say it's a scam. Oh, this is a scam. It's a wannabe coin. No, it's not. It doesn't want to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is store of value coin. Bitcoin Cash is peer-to-peer electronic cash. You dropped the totem. We picked it up. And the results will shine because of that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. This message brought to you by some dude who needs to relax. Take care. Bye-bye.